Welcome back, Screen Watcher Nation, to another Screen Watcher review here. During the Christmas time, we are going to get into a little bit of the darker side of Christmas movies, starting with this next review. But before we do that, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel.
Shh, they're about to start the movie.
So not all Christmas movies are all lighthearted and laughs and fun and joy and candy canes. There is a whole genre of Christmas movies that are horror, slasher, kind of thriller movies, and that is one of the types that I'm going to go ahead and review right now with Krampus that came out in 2015. It stars Adam Scott. He plays Tom. You would know him from Parks and Recreation, Step Brothers, really bad movie, Piranha, lots of other things as well. You have Toni Collette, wonderful actress. You would know her mainly from Little Miss Sunshine, Sixth Sense. She plays Sarah, Tom's wife in this movie. Then you have David Koechner. He plays Howard. You would know him as Champ Kynes from Anchorman, Get Smart, lots and lots of other titles to his name as well. You have Allison Tolman, who plays Linda, Howard's wife. You would know her mainly from The Gift. Then you have MJ Anthony, who is Max. That is Tom and Sarah's son. He's a voice in The Jungle Book and has done a couple of other really small roles, but this was kind of his biggest role to date. And then you have Conchata Ferrell, who plays Aunt Dorothy. You would know her from 2.5 Men, Mr. Deeds. She's kind of a character actress. She's out there all the time. Does a lot of one episodes on different TV shows. So Krampus, not a lot of people have seen it, but it was actually a very interesting movie, especially for Christmas. So the basic plot of the movie is that there's not a whole lot of Christmas spirit going on in the house with Tom and Sarah and Max. And then when they have their family come over again, it just gets less and less festive as the day goes on. So you have Howard and Linda come over, Aunt Dorothy comes over, you have Grandma who comes over. And then Max, he gets upset. He rips up his letter that he wrote to Santa and throws it into the fire. And that is what unleashes Krampus upon the neighborhood and the world there. So little piece of advice: if you're gonna write a letter to Santa, make sure you send it to Santa. He'll get it and he'll get you presents. If you're going to rip up your letter, definitely don't do that, and definitely don't throw it in the fire afterwards. Things get pretty bad in this movie, but that is basically the plot of the entire movie. Is that Krampus is this demon who is basically the anti-Santa Claus. He comes up, snatches the children who have no Christmas spirit, and it's a pretty big thrill ride. There are some pretty gosh darn intense scenes in it. There are some that are kind of funny as well. There is a lot of humor mixed in with this film. I've said it before and I'll say it many, many times. I'm not really a huge fan of this genre, but I like having one-off movies where, yes, it's a Christmas movie, but it's also a horror kind of thriller movie. That's very interesting to me because it's not something that you typically see. So having it in this little niche made it interesting enough for me to want to watch it, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was pretty scary, so it definitely hit the horror side, and you didn't really know what was going to come next. So that was pretty interesting to me. The actors, I love pretty much all of them. You know, Adam Scott, Parks and Rec is one of my favorite shows out there. Toni Collette is a phenomenal actress. David Koechner doesn't get enough credit for what he does. He's always kind of that loud and obnoxious funny guy, but he does have some subtleties to his acting ability, and he can act when he needs to. The kid actors in this, they did pretty well as the movie went on. I'll give them credit. MJ Anthony in particular did pretty well as Max. Everything going downhill really grabs you by surprise, and there's at least 2 scenes that come to my mind right off the bat that I'm like, that would be pretty gosh darn terrifying if I was in front of that. So that is pretty much all I want to get into, because if I get into any specifics on this movie, it's really going to take away from the effects that it has, the overall tone. But I enjoyed it. If you're into Christmas movies and you happen to also like horror or thriller movies, this is the perfect combination of the two. If you just like horror movies, it's still pretty gosh darn good. So you can get past the Christmas stuff pretty quickly, and it's intense. So there is some gore, there is some language. So if you have kids, I would not necessarily recommend it. Definitely not a kids movie for the actual kids Christmas time. But it was in 2015. It actually holds up. I mean, there wasn't obviously a big time difference between then and now. So the CGI effects are pretty good when they have them. And gosh, Krampus himself is phenomenal. Just some great actual movie physical changes to somebody where you don't have to go and do a lot of makeup or CGI effects to people. There's no mocap or something like that. It's actually, a physical suit and all that. It's very, very scary and very cool. So that is my review of Krampus. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Is there another Christmas movie, another different type of Christmas movie that you want me to review that I have not hit yet? Obviously, there is still plenty of time before jolly old Saint Nick comes to each and every one of our houses, or Krampus, if you happen to have no Christmas spirit, can come there as well. So if you have anything, let me know, and I'd be happy to review it. Other than that, hopefully your popcorn is always fresh, and hopefully you enjoy your day at the cinema, whether it is at your local theater or it is at your home. I will see you all next time.